Alright, Hunter x Hunter 102. I'm really enjoying this solo Killua mini arc kind of stuff we're getting here. I know Gon's off doing his own thing as well, but I'm really enjoying all the extra attention we're paying towards Killua. Killua's been such an interesting character to me throughout the show, and to see him develop and learn about the way he thinks through things and the way that he fights has been super interesting, and it's been great to see all of that when he's just by himself in these kinds of situations. And people in the comments are saying that Killua really shines in this arc. That's something I'm really looking forward to seeing more of. And people be talking about Icalgo as well, so I imagine him and potentially MELEORON, I still can't pronounce his name. I reckon they're both going to have a pretty significant role with Killua and Gon respectively. Like and subscribe, check out the Patreon for early access if you're interested. With all that being said, enjoy the video. Power and games, talk to me. Also, I'm really curious as to what's going to happen with Killua here. Yeah, this is what we doing.
タバコやめた方がいいよ。せっかく透明になれる能力があるのに、匂いが体に染みついてすぐにバレちゃうよ。
Well,
忠告ありがとうよ。透明能力は名刺みたいなもんでな。本当の力はワンランク上だぜ。
well, now I'm intrigued. I thought Gon was talking about from a health standpoint with the smoking.
消えた。気配も完全にない。タバコも残りがだけだ。
Now, is it just crazy Zetsu, or like what's the go here?
絶対に無理だ。
Yeah, there he is.
一体どうやって？
You have to wonder if it's similar to what Jing can do, even though I think Jing is just actual crazy Zetsu.
パーフェクトプラン。
Second ability, God's Alibi.
呼吸を止めている間は何人たりとも俺の存
Oh,
在に
that's dope.
お前さんさっき俺にちゃんと触ってたぜ。けど触ってるってことを意識できなかった。
That's epic. I like that.
さっきの透明になる能力なんてな、こっちの能力を隠しておくためのダミーみたいな。
Oh, that's really smart.
知ってるのはこの世で俺とお前さんだけだ。
Well, that's really showing you,
そんな大事なことを。
yeah, how serious he is about this, building trust, yeah. But at the same time, you do have to wonder if this is some big plan. But I like this guy. I'm liking him a lot now.
その話はお前さんからパートナーになってもいいって言葉を聞いてからだ。
Tempting
な
offer.
んでもいいよ。
I love that he looked like an actual chameleon there in that image.
お前さん一人で勝手に決めていいのかよ。仲間がいるんだろ。
He needs Killua.
みてえな怪しげなバケモンと相談なんか組んだらよ。
Well, Killua was doing the same thing, homie.
まあいっか。20年来の仲間に裏切られることだってあるし。
No, don't be saying stuff like that.
信頼なんちゃら時間じゃねえ。さい
Ho!
ほう。ちにはなれねえ。
こっちのセリフだな。
We're not talking about friendship. We're talking about a temporary alliance.
仲間は反対しねえのか。
多分大反対。キロアは慎重で疑り深いから。
Big facts.
でも俺が絶対譲らなきゃ大丈夫。結局キロアがしぶしぶ折れるから。
They know each other so well.
王を倒す。
Okay.
理由が知りたいか。
Yes. Give me more. Give me more than that.
言うのを待ってたんだけど。
復讐さ。
Specifically for what, the queen? I might be forgetting stuff about what happened with MELEORON back in the day.
恩人が殺されたんだ。ペギーって名前だ。
Oh. No, that's big facts. That's big facts. Bro, I hate that I forgot about Peggy. They're gonna make me get attached to MELEORON? I need to learn how to pronounce his freaking name then if that's what they're gonna do.
忘れてたのさ。殺されたペギーが俺の里親だったってことをな。
Sensing a double meaning here.
つい最近だ。
Yeah, this is what I was thinking he might have been talking about.
記憶。思い出せたのはほんのわずかさ。
They might not have been
自
related
分の名前。
unless...
王に殺されたキメラアントの幹部ペギー。ペギーは人間だった頃の
Foster
自分
fa-
の名前で
Wow! I didn't see it happening like this. Okay.
いつも分厚い本を抱えてて。
Just like Peggy.
みんな人間の記憶があるんだね。
Oh, this is gonna resonate with
知
Gon.
らねえさ。明らかに獣の特性の方が強いやつもいるし。
Gon's gonna start seeing some of them as humans now.
なんでメレオロンのこと 会ってすぐに信用する気になれたのか。
Whatever you need for it to make sense, Gon.
すごく人間臭いんだ。
Yeah. Oh.
キメラアントの誰よりも。っていうか。
Now, Gon hasn't met Colt, though. Gon needs to meet Colt.
俺はお前さんに人間離れした怪物性を
I mean, you're right, though, buddy.
だから組む気になったんだぜ。がその前にそろそろ名
Oh,
前を
Gon never told him his name. He will now.
俺はゴンフリークス。
Good.
俺にはもう一つの能力がある。
How many you got,
今その
homie?
発動条件を満たした。
He needs his name. Can you turn it to
見
Gon?
てやろう。第三の能力。
What's happening? Hello? What do you do? Someone tell me. Oh, he was holding his breath and affecting things around him?
俺にもパーフェクトプランが使えたってこと？
そのと、
Oh.
俺が第三の能力。
Right, it wasn't registering that they were touching him.
俺が手を触れているものにもパーフェクトプランが連動する。
I didn't see any of this coming, and I'm like so happy about it.
この能力の凄さが。
Yeah, this guy.
いくら王が強かろうが、隙だらけの急所に最強の一撃をぶち込めば倒せる。
I mean, there is every chance, man, that this is going to play a massive part in what's coming.
こそ俺が求めていた相棒。クソったれの王に前代未聞の必殺技を食らわすナイスガイさ。
I hope we see something like that, man. I can see it happening, but Gon might want Neferpito first. Homie needs to understand that we have our own plan going on here as well.
俺より適任者がいる。
心当たりがあるんだな。
連絡してみるよ。
待った。
Is he talking about Killua? Like Knuckle or someone?
だがお前さんが信頼してる人物を
But if Homie wants an assassination mission, it would make more sense for it to be Killua. But in some ways, he's like Gon here. He wants it to be Gon, so he wants it to be that way. Gon likes to do things just because he chooses them, you know?
これを意識できないってことはだ。言い換えれば意識できないだけでそこに俺は存在する。
And there's also the notion that the king, somehow, because he's so strong, might still notice. And how long can Homie hold his breath for, you know?
透明になるだけなら円を使えば感知できる。これは実証済みだし、他の師団長
Okay,
も
that's
知って
very
る
smart.
こと。俺の能力はその程度だと思わせ
Damn,
て
he's been playing the long game with this, man.
使えば大丈夫だとな。
He's made everyone think he can just turn invisible. They can all find him with N, but they can't. Neferpito's N is very strong. We've seen that.
つまりこれ以上俺の能力を知る者は増やしたくない。たとえゴンが絶対の信頼を置いてる
I'm gonna choose to just completely trust this guy.
メレオロンのことは話さずに呼び出してみる。
ちょっと。
もしも。
待ってた
It is Knuckle. Okay.
やってくれたな。今どこだ。おめえらのおかげでボスが動いたぜ。計画は大幅に狂ったが。
Yeah.
やっぱり500万人
Oh, hold up now.
できねえってよ。ボスの能力で首都を包囲したそうだ。
Okay. In a way, this has worked out then.
大虐殺の危険は依然高いままだ。
I think there'll be something like that, but we're actively trying to avoid it. Who is that?
会
Flutter?
長との連
No.
絡はもう不可能だそうだ。決行日時のギリギリまでどこかで集中して牙を磨いてる。
Oh, I keep forgetting about this. This is Netero? Like, isn't this what Killua saw?
新たに援軍を呼ぶか。俺たちだけで護衛軍3匹とやるか。
Dude, Netero's gonna be a bit of a demon when we get to it, man. Oh, here we go. Talk to me.
罪だ。
What are we doing here?
なぜ投了しなかった。
Just a little bit.
22手前で勝負はすでに消しておったはずだろうが、なぜそこで投了しなかった。世が手を誤るとでも思ったか。
Don't take it personally. Don't disrespect. Who even is this guy, by the way? Well, he's just dead. Come on, bro. Yeah.
次は囲碁の国内チャンピオンです。
ルールブックを。
He's just taking on the best players?
実は非常に複雑です。将棋より時間がかか
What
る
is he looking for? Like stimulation? He's just learning them by reading the books, just like that. That's gonna be you in a minute, homie. Now, is there a situation where he wouldn't kill them? This guy's shook as hell.
王の勝ちです。
10曲で疲れてるからだ。出なきゃ負けるはずない。それになんか熱っぽいし。8時間やる。薬もな。
Okay.
それでベストに戻せ。死ぬ気で休む。
Interesting.
まさか将棋の半分以下の時間で攻略するとは。
コツをつかんだだけのことだ。ルールは違えど一級の打ち手にはその打ち筋に独特の呼吸がある。
Yeah. Is this like related to
に相手の呼吸を乱すこと
like how he fights or how he wants to rule or something?
相手の呼吸が見えてくる。
Or yeah, how he's gonna figure out hunters, then users.
呼吸しにくい手を生み出すだけだ。
Yeah, I can see it, yeah.
通じる真理かと。
Any contest.
そこに到達してはこの先の室内遊戯も大同小異。この国でプロ化されているのはあと一つ。軍技という盤上競技で。
ルールブックをよこせ。
It's all about learning the rhythm. So the more he does this, the easier he can learn the rhythms of other things, right?
開始時の駒配置も自軍陣地内ならば自由です。
Well, that looks cool, actually.
現世界王者は3代目で大会5連覇中。
Okay.
そいつに勝てば世が世界一ということか。容疑の締めくくりにふさわしい。
Okay. He's just mega alpha, and he wants to be the best at everything, even something like this. Blind. This is an important character for sure. I mean, look at them.
選別まで残り6日。
6 days left.
この日招き入れたこの少女が後に自分の運命に大きく関わることを。
Oh wow. How this girl's about to influence his fate. That's a good episode. That's a really good episode. All the Gon and Meleoron stuff, fantastic. That really took me by surprise. And lots to think about with the king. Like, I've been thinking, we haven't seen a lot of him lately. I know there's going to be a big build up about him. Like, he's already been built up. But a little bit of an insight into the king's character as well. Good stuff. Now, I did throw a lot of my thoughts around during Gon's interaction with Meleoron. I think that's how you pronounce it. So I feel pretty good about that overall at this point. The thing I do love is how much they humanize Meleoron in this episode. You don't really think too much of this guy up to this point. He's just kind of there in the background, you know, kind of makes sense because he likes to go invisible. But a classic example of a character that there is just so much more than meets the eye with. And Peggy was his foster father when he was a human. Like, I've heard enough. I'm invested, man. If they do something like this with Icalgo as well, it might just be over. Colt, Meleoron, Icalgo. And for some reason, this has popped into my head, the little baby fetus thing that Colt got from the queen at the end. Now, we've seen or heard absolutely nothing about that thing since we saw it, but I'm sure it's going to be important, so that's in my head now as well. But I never thought we'd get any ants like changing sides. Like, even when Colt was humanized so much in the beginning, so like maybe Colt, but getting guys like Meleoron, this is awesome. And he has 3 techniques, so he can turn invisible, and then by holding his breath, he can completely erase his presence. Now, he's still there. People just can't register him. With Nen, with N, by touching them, nothing. And then his third ability, if he's touching a homie, I'm not sure if he said it specifically, but I imagine, like, as he said, the conditions need to be met. Someone he trusts, but he can also make them go invincible as well. What was the name? Because it was really cool. Perfect Plan. That's such a good name for this as well. So Meleoron is going to become a massive part of this for sure. His powers are just way too good. And you have to remember what Icalgo can do as well. Icalgo can take over, you know, hosts. So maybe that's going to come into play as well. And I see some similarities between Meleoron and Gon, even though they had like the opposite opinion of each other. Gon said he was able to trust Meleoron straight away because he felt very human. And now Gon understands that about hearing that Meleoron has been getting a lot of his human memories back. There's been emphasis on that in the past. Not all ants. Some ants like Leal, for example, he's a prime example. Maybe even Cheetu as well, of ants that are, well, Leal's definitely more feral, but they're ants that I don't think are too fussed about what they were as humans. And Leal seems more to lean towards his lion side, but they just want to become the king or get stronger in their own rights. You know, Meleoron's got something else going on here. Like, he wants revenge. He wants to kill the king, for killing Peggy. I mean, I respect it. I loved Peggy. And you have no idea at the time, like, how big of a deal Peggy's death is going to be. It's motivated Meleoron to the point where he's befriended Gon, because he wants Gon to be like, you know, his assassin on the king. And Gon was talking about Knuckle when he said, I've got someone else. Because at this point, I imagine Gon's still under the impression that Knuckle is stronger than him. And Knuckle very well could be still stronger than Gon. It's not like a lot of time has passed. It's been like a month and a bit. And Gon didn't have Nen for that whole time. So we'll see. The thing I'm thinking about is there's two agendas going on here now. There's Gon's agenda, which is like, you know, Netero's agenda, our whole squad. And then there's what Meleoron wants to do. Now, we do want to stop the king. We want to kill the king. But I imagine we might have to find a way to make this happen for Meleoron in a way that fits into our plan. Because currently we have Netero going after the king. But we'll see. By the way, we saw Netero this episode. He was that massive golden shining thing. He's just chilling out there. Now, Killua, I don't know if Killua was able to see that when he saw it a few episodes ago. I think Killua just knew he couldn't go that way. Netero's waiting, he's biding his time, like the final preparations, the homie said. He went off and met someone, he's doing something, like, is he powering up? Is he powering up for like 10 days? He's gonna be insane. Like something's going on there and I'm really interested about it. And I like the little nod from Knuckle towards Gon and Killua, him saying, you know, we support what you're doing. Even though, you know, it's kind of forced Moro's hand, we support that you're not trying to let 5 million people die. Which I think is right, morally, but at the same time, it's also good for Netero as the chairman, because all of this corruption stuff was like, right, even if we kill the king but 5 million die, even if we're letting 5 million die to save the whole world, it's still going to look bad for Netero and the Hunters Association. So I think this is good, but shades of there could still be a massacre, and I feel like there is going to be a lot of bloodshed. Maybe not quite 5 million, but there's going to be a lot's going to happen. And then Gon's going to meet back up with Knuckle and Shoot. I think that's good, and I really hope we can incorporate Meleoron into this, you know. It might be that Meleoron doesn't want anyone else to know about Perfect Plan as much as Gon does, but I don't see a downside to people like Knuckle, Shoot, Nov, Miral, and Killua knowing about it, because at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We want to kill the king. But we'll see about all of that. It's really interesting. Now, the king. Now, this is really interesting stuff. So, the king's just waiting, right? We're waiting. He's waiting the 6 days until the selection, so he's just chilling. He's got nothing to do. So, he's decided to learn all of these tabletop, you know, competitive games and constantly beat the best player in the country at each of them. But it seems like he's trying to learn. He was talking a lot about the rhythm of the games, and this is something that's speaks to me as a competitor, as someone who plays a lot of basketball, plays a lot of League of Legends, plays a lot of games in general, and I feel that it's all about the rhythm. He's absolutely right. Everything has a flow to it and a certain feel, and the better you get at being able to recognize that rhythm. I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent here, and not a lot of people are going to understand this, but Steph Curry, who's up on the wall back there, my favorite basketball player. There are a lot of games, if you watch him play, where he doesn't do a lot early. And he talks about this. It's because he's out there feeling the flow of the game. Because each time you play a game, it's different. There's different flow, the offense and defense, it's all happening differently. So sometimes that first part of the game is just feeling, what kind of game is this going to be like? What does this game demand from me specifically? And that I feel like is what the King's working towards here. The more different games he plays like this, like just from reading the rule book and then playing the best player and then eventually becoming so much better than them. He's learning the flow of the game and then the flow of the game in the context against this particular person. So it's going to help him gain fighting experience without actually fighting. So then when he does start fighting people, presumably Netero might be his first like proper opponent, he's going to be learning the flow and the rhythm and all that. Like I feel like that's what we're getting at here. Either way, it's some pretty cool insight into his character, like how he thinks and how he's looking at these things. And we have the final challenger for him as well. Like this girl is clearly blind, clearly an important character just by the way she's looking. Now there's two things here, because immediately I was trying to think about, okay, what's so special about this person? If we're talking about the feel and the rhythm of everything, right? Maybe this girl just has a very natural knack for that kind of stuff, and that's why she can potentially be so good at this game. Or she's a net user, right? I would lean towards the latter. The only reason I even mentioned the whole first part of that is because, you know, the King was talking about it a lot. But the narrator's coming in with big lines once again, saying the King has no idea how much this girl is about to influence his fate. What's the deal with this? What if this was the person that Netero went off to meet? You know, I'm just throwing out every possibility. Is he going to learn so much from this girl? Is he not going to be able to beat her? Is that going to put doubt in his mind going forward? Like, you know, there's so many possibilities. It's really interesting and I'm really keen to find out. And through all of that, no update on Killua this episode. That's fine. Like, I just got 2 really good episodes of Killua, and this was a really great episode on its own. I'm really interested about the doctor that Icalgo's taking Killua to. I would imagine it's another ant. But if that's the case, like, how is this doctor gonna go about Icalgo bringing a human human in, like a hunter and then user, or maybe it's not an ant and it's just this whole different situation. I'm really curious about it. But man, there were a few episodes before this last batch that really had me just wanting to get through them, you know? But now I'm sucked back in. I'm asking a lot of questions. I'm getting into it. This is where I love to be. So I hope we keep it up there for a little bit before it really starts to pop off. With that being said, I'm going to leave this one here. I can feel a binge coming on in the near future. I don't have a lot of time currently right now, but I'm thinking the next time I've got a full day, it might be a Hunter x Hunter type of day. So thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. And as always, please continue to leave your comments and feedback down below. You know I always appreciate it. And we'll see you all in the next episode of Hunter x Hunter.